Hello, and welcome to the Video Game Valley. It's a beautiful day today, a perfect, crisp 72 degrees out. Let me tell you a little story. It's a little story about a guy named Jesus. Now, what did Jesus do? I'll tell you. Jesus murdered a kid. Jesus used his magic powers to kill a child. Now, before you start thinking too harshly about Jesus here, understand Jesus. He was also a kid at the time. He wasn't very used to his magical powers yet. But he killed a kid. He killed him. He just killed a guy. Look it up. Look up the time Jesus killed a child. But you know what? I'll tell you what. He brought him back. He brought that kid back. One of Jesus's first big tricks. bringing back the kid he killed. Vada voom, vada ving. Badang, badoom. Killed the kid, brought him back. Now, this wouldn't be the first guy he brought back. No, this would be the first guy. This wouldn't be the last guy he brought back. Because there was this other guy named Lazarus. Now, you might know Lazarus because they name a bunch of devices Lazarus if it brings something back. Well, originally, you couldn't have a device that did that. You'd only have old Jesus. Now, this is very ironic, but after Jesus spent his whole life just bringing things back, wouldn't you know it, after he died, he also got brought back. His last big trick, he got brought back. And after that, he said to everyone, I'll be back real soon, don't you worry. I'll be back real quick. I'm just gonna go to the store for a second. I just gotta pick up some cigarettes. Gotta get some menthols. And, that was 2,000 years ago. Any day now. Any day. Coming back. Hello, welcome. Welcome to the Video Game Valley. Beautiful day today. Perfect 72 degrees out, like I said. Continuing Kentucky Route Zero on the PC. Kentucky Route Zero. Happy fake Easter to everyone who celebrates the fake wrong Easter. We still got, what is it, 7 days? Yeah, 7 days till real Easter. We still got 7 days till real Easter. Marcus, thank you for the $5. The infancy Gospels, he also brought back a kid who fell off a rooftop they were playing on, so the child could tell everyone Jesus didn't kill him. I forgot about that. Alright, there's another guy that got brought back. There's another one. It's a whole other guy. All the Greek Orthodox folks just cash in on the cheap chocolate every year. Most years. Last year, Orthodox Easter and Protestant Easter actually happened on the same day. Doesn't happen often, but it happened last time. Happy birthday, Scuffy. I'll let Scuffy know that you said happy birthday. Marcus, thank you for the $2. He also turned a bunch of children into sheep. Classic gag. Classic trick. I think the Orthodox Church, every church should get back together, form another council, determine a new set of canon writings. I don't think that there's enough stuff in the canon. I think all the stuff that was considered non-canon, you should add it all back in. It should all be brought back in. That's my opinion. There's got to be some sort of sect that has been calling for this for like over 1,000 years. There's got to be some group that's been begging the Pope for this. Gotta be. Pretty much described the Coptics and Ethiopian churches. And I forgot about the Coptics or Coptics. Copts. Yeah. They should do it. You know, it's not like some of the writing is more real than others. They're just add it all in. Add it all back. See that rough circle of rocky protrusions near the shore? It's more intricate than it looks. More than 2/3 of it is actually underwater. I haven't seen it myself, but listen to this. It's man-made, and the rocks weren't placed according to their size, so what's visible is a more or less uniformly random selection of the overall shape. Looks like it might be a spiral all told, or maybe some kind of meditative labyrinth. At the head of it is a petrified oak stump that was moved here from above ground, of course, decades ago. That's where the ceremony took place. The Locks were married here. Many frail-tongued observers said they should just go with lock or luck, or split the difference with look or even lick, or really anything else, but it was never going to happen. Marge Luck and Errol Locke met in prison. She was a volunteer teaching conflict mediation skills to guards, and he was employed at the side gate accepting deliveries and greeting visitors. Neither of them once saw a prisoner. Their engagement was welcome news for the family business. Family businesses, who had been looking for some opportunity to merge interests. The Locks ran a busy printing press, and the Lucks managed a fleet of bicycle couriers. The natural next step was to start a local paper, what would become the Echo River Evening Record. Probably the rocks marked the boundaries between the two families, Lucks on the inner loop and Locks on the outer, or the other way around. And it must have also involved that petrified stump. Neither family is particularly religious, but rumors persist that the officiant wore a robe. Got the signed Charlie DVD. Wanted to say thank you. Such a special piece to have. Been a great 20 years. Thank you for getting it. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Anyone here do any egg battles today? Any egg fights? There's this Easter thing that is Greek in tradition that I genuinely thought was just a regular Easter tradition that everyone does until I described it to someone years and years and years ago, and they were like, what the heck are you talking about? I was like, it's when you take your Easter eggs and you slam them into each other. When you have your egg and your opponent has their egg and you bash them together, and the winner is the one whose egg doesn't break. They're like, what? It's like, yeah, that's... Do not do that. do not smash your Easter eggs together in combat? No. Oh. I literally never had an Easter where this was not happening. I'd at home at my grandparents' house, and this is just a normal Easter tradition. Let's see, it's called Sugrishma. Yeah. Never heard of that. Yeah, it's... Alright, I found a family video. Not my family. I found a family video. A Greek family.
The butt. Oh, tight. Hold the ice planet.
Oh! Still alive. Still alive. Oh, Jared. Still alive. Get him, Jack. Get him. Get him. No, you don't want to hurt me. Don't shoot Joe. I don't know. What the hell, Joe? Joe's got the wooden egg.
No, the tires.
You gotta touch his business so dear.
Oh.
Man, he's really killing everyone.
She's gonna win. Better win.
I appreciate you. She's such a right.
Sacrificing that egg.
No.
On the nose, Joe. Don't do it
None
sideways.
of that.
Don't hit him. Let him do it. Straight on, Joe.
Oh,
Next!
Yeah, every Easter. I thought that this was just a thing that everyone did. I thought that literally everyone did this at Easter. Nope, apparently not. Shannon and her friend set out in the dinghy to deliver a package at the telephone exchange. Never seen it before. Yeah, it is apparently just a Greek tradition. It's like a Greek Orthodox tradition. I just didn't know. I just didn't know. All right. Act 4, Scene 7. Echo River Central Exchange. Thanks again for your help. This is about as far as the tugboat can go. You know, noise and lights disturb the bats. I usually send Will, but he's up to his elbows in mammoth grease right now. So you'll pass through the bat sanctuary, which is really nice, by the way. Be sure to check out all the plaques and stuff for cool bat facts. Plenty of time. Anyway, the Echo River Central Exchange, or, excuse me, Consolidated Auxiliary Switch number 30. They changed the name when the power company took over. Anyway, just on the other side of the Bat Sanctuary. Package is going to Poppy. She's an operator. The operator. We'll meet you on the other side at Sam and Ida's for our scheduled early breakfast stop. Just follow the river. Can't miss it. Oh! I almost forgot. You may or may not be interested. There's this kind of weird memorial sculpture on your way in, just before the Bat Sanctuary. I always recommend people at least stop and take a look at it. It's really sort of... I don't know how to say it. You should check it out. Okay. Bye. Interesting. Sign. We claim these helmets in the name of the folks who wore them, and we place them here in their memory, but also as a spit in the greedy green eye of that power company who bought up our old mine and traded our brothers and sisters' safety for a little more yield, but only yielded 28 good men and women dead when the walls collapsed and the tunnels filled with water. Their lungs were black, but now they're washed clean and full of water too, and swept through hidden tunnels into some awful cave we will never find, and so we guess the water buried them for us. Sorry, it's one big sentence. Let me try to parse this better. Their lungs were black, but now they're washed clean and full of water too, and swept through hidden tunnels into some awful cave we will never find. And so we guess the water buried them for us. So let this here be the marker for their grave. And if any son of a gun from that power company wants to take back these helmets as company property, just you try it and see what will happen. Hey, Elkhorn. That's the mine we met in, where your folks, worked. Looks like it's been here for a while. Sure as heck wouldn't mess with it. You think whoever wore it is still that angry? Wrote. 1 second. Sorry, my throat's a little donked up today. I'm having trouble talking again. Alright. Think whoever wrote it still that angry? I don't think you ever forget anger like that. No. Guess you probably don't. Brings back some anger for me, too. Yeah, it's understandable. I guess that's what a memorial should do, huh? Help you hang on to your feelings. Otherwise, they fade away. It's just what time does. Oh. Hey. What? You're looking at me like I'm crazy, huh? Just, sometimes I forget I don't even really know you that well. Yeah, well, that makes two of us. You know, those guys from the distillery are just making the best of a bad situation, just like the rest of us. Hey, one of them said to me earlier they could even help me take care of these medical bills for my leg, you know? Get it all together on a plan. Consolidated. What? When did you talk to them about that? Oh, they're around. They're pretty much everywhere you look on this river. You really haven't noticed? Anyway, I have a feeling it'll all work out. Even this delivery? Yeah, we're almost there, right? At this point, we could just take off the parking brake and that truck would roll right into 5 Dogwood Drive by itself. Listen, that old truck I've been driving belonged to my boss, Ira, Lysette's husband. To be honest, Ira didn't like me very much, but somehow Lys got it into her mind that he would have wanted me to have that truck someday. Maybe to make up for all the yelling he did. Maybe so his ghost could hold it over me. Just one more thing to feel like I owed him for. Anyway, they got their old trucks at the distillery. Now that the antique shop is closing up, got no use for that old truck. I was thinking you could take it. That's very generous, but I don't need that. I don't need a truck. You could drive it around while you figure out what's next. Heck, you could sleep in it if you need to. It's big enough. Well, just think about it anyway. You'll be doing me a favor, you know. One less thing to deal with. Brad, thank you for the $4.99. It's Kentuckian. I wanted to share that we have a specific way of pronouncing places. Louisville is Louisville. 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 Versailles is Versailles. Versailles. Thank you. Thank you, Brad. Louisville. Visitors to the Echo River Kentuckiana. Visitors to the Echo River Kentuckiana River Bat Artificial Hibernaculum and Sanctuary are asked to take the extra precautions in order to prevent the introduction of foreign fungal contaminants and the spread of white nose syndrome. Please do not visit the sanctuary during the same day in which you visited any cave known or suspected to host bats infected with white nose syndrome. Please do not leave your vehicle. If you must leave your vehicle, please remove shoes, clothing, jewelry, headwear, and eyeglasses to ensure you do not bring any foreign spores ashore with you. Please do not touch any bats or structures. The Kentuckiana river bat is confused by light. If you are using a lantern or other artificial light source, be aware that it may attract and confuse bats. If you are approached by bats, do not panic. Relax. Stop your vehicle and switch off your light. Never touch a bat. Louisville. There's a bat. Haven't caught up with the game, but where are the holographic skeletons? They're from the brewery. Don't worry about it. They're just from the brewery. Bat fact. Ever talk with your mouth full? Bats do it all the time. Bats talk in extremely high-frequency clicks, too high for humans to hear. Then they use their powerful ears to scan for the echoes of those ultrasonic clicks. By comparing very subtle differences in the time these echoes take to come back, differences of just a millionth of a second, bats are able to picture their environment with enough accuracy to catch a flying insect. I would love to have echolocation. That would be a great ability. Bat fact, once a bat has caught an insect in its mouth, it's still flying, so it still needs to avoid running into anything. So bats keep clicking away, even while they munch on a tasty bug snack. Maybe poor table manners, but it's crucial for surviving in the dark. Wonder how the other bats know whether one of them is really talking or just chasing a bug. I think when they're actually communicating, it sounds more like singing. I'd like to hear that. Hey, it's really dark down here. You still there? Sorry, just thinking. Yeah, it's a reflective kind of place. You're that kind of person, which I think you are. What are you thinking about? Weaver. Oh yeah, think she's down here somewhere? I don't know. Just thinking about my I guess because we were talking about your folks a minute ago. Thinking about my ma. To be honest with you, I don't think about her that often. Your cousin brought her up earlier, and she's just been on my mind. It's good your folks have a memorial. A lot of people, nobody remembers them when they're gone. You mean like your ma? No, she would have hated that. I don't know what I mean. Ugh. What if you could echolocate? But only for bots? So every time you echolocated, it was like revealing all of the butts around you. And then what if you noticed a mysterious butt in the walls? Bad fact. The Kentuckiana river bat's natural diet mostly consists of moths and other small insects that breed along the river. Here at the artificial hibernaculum and sanctuary, we use a combination of chemical snares and ultrasonic wards to repel all potentially contaminant-bearing insects, and replace them with our own locally bred and spawned hypoallergenic antiseptic pseudomoths, which we call the little gray nothing moth. You may be thinking that the other moths and insects the Kentuckiana river bat would have been eating are... Man, I'm having a really hard time tonight. Some nights my throat's just completely docked up, and coincidentally recently it's been all the nights in which I've had to read a lot of text. I'll get through it. It'll be fine. You may be thinking that the other moths and insects the Kentuckiana river bat would have been eating are very much relieved that their natural predator has found another food source. Not so! We've installed netting and highly effective moth traps along the river where the Kentuckiana river bat normally hunts to balance their escape from the food chain. Bad fact! But eating moths isn't the only systemic contributions these bats make. They also produce a potent fertilizer in the form of guano that helps plant life thrive along the Echo River, the shore of Lake Leth. In order to minimize the sanctuary's impact on subterranean agriculture, we collect the precious guano here at the hibernaculum and manually distribute throughout the caves. It's a full-time job. Sounds like a lot of work. They eat... They eat fake moths? Yeah, hypoallergenic antiseptic pseudomoths. The little gray nothing moth. Well, a lot of people eat fake food, right? Food taken apart and then put back together so it looks and tastes like something they remember eating before, even if they never really did. Right. It is reassuring to know someone's taking care of everything for these little bats. Yeah, who's gonna build the people hibernaculum? Maybe we'll build it ourselves. Maybe we already did. Like the folks in the mine. Said they used to buy stuff. Fans, canaries, all those little trinkets to make it bearable. Still a lot of stuff down there. Feels cluttered, but human. I just mean, all people need is enough to pretend we're home, and we can make it anywhere. Sure, people can, but what about bats? Maybe we'll have to teach him. What am I saying? I know about 100% more than on the subject of bats now than I did when we came down here. Officer, thank you for the $2. How was Scuffy's birthday? It was pretty good. Pretty good birthday. Had a whole bunch of decorations up. Look at that umbrella. Brad, thank you for the $1.99. There was an event in Kentucky in which it rained meat. Is that normal? Is that a normal thing to have it do? Better hang on a minute. Feels like there's one kind of hovering right over me. They don't really hover though, do they? I mean, how could they? Guess a lightning bug will hover by beating its wings really fast. Maybe they can do that too. I used to watch lightning bugs in the evening, out at the edge of the woods. Lizette's kid Charlie, he loved them. You know, he ended up going to college and studying astronomy. And I like to think he got his love for stars from those nights watching bugs. Anyway, me and Charlie, sometimes we try to see one of them up close. You lay in the grass and you have to be totally still for a while. Like one of those wax sculptures. Don't even breathe. Like this. Oh, you can't see me. I was doing the watching lightning bugs in the grass face. I think I can imagine it. Yeah, you've seen it already. When I fell in the mine. Kind of stunned, in shock. Hey, who were you talking to earlier? When we met, in the mine. You were on the phone with someone. I forgot about that. Just a friend. Alejandra. We met in school. We're still pretty close. I was just venting on the phone about my landlord situation. She was very patient, but I could tell she had no idea what I was talking about. It gets harder and harder to reconnect. Yeah, no, that's true. So many little bat houses. Lizette's sick. I mean, she's old. We're both old. Heck, you're about the youngest person I know right now. Oh, and the kid, maybe Homer, by a people calendar. In dog years, though, I bet he has us all beat. So I'm old too, sure, and I forget stuff all the time, especially if I've had a few and my brain is swimming, but, I mean, lice, it's all going away. She's losing words you'd never think you'd lose. Not just like the street she grew up on, but the names of colors and types of furniture. Or, I mean, even the word furniture. She'd say, "We still got a few nice pieces in the, what's that I call the shed, and we put about the bigger pieces, the beds, the couches, and I'd say, oh, lice, why do you keep teasing me about that time I fell asleep in the furniture shed? When it's so dang comfortable in there." Tried to help her, keep some dignity, That's all I had to offer at the end. She has a sister in Nashville who'll take good care of her. Now that I'm not around in the shop all the time. What was that old guy's name? Used to make deliveries for the shop. Smells like leather. Ira was always yelling at him. Too drunk to work on the one day he could have been in the right place at the right time. You feel pretty badly about that accident. You think she blames you? No, but it's awful to say, but sometimes I kind of wish she would. That way, at least she could eventually forgive me. Know what I mean, right? I know exactly what you mean. Okay, I think the bats are clearing out. There's the skeletons again. Get out of here, skeletons. Get out of here. Get the heck out of here, skeletons. White nose syndrome is still largely a mystery. We suspect that the white fungal growth, which appears on bats' faces and wings, irritates and confuses them, causing them to awaken early from hibernation and venture outside, depleting stored energy they need to survive through winter. But biologists are nowhere near curing the disease. It spreads quickly and is highly fatal. In this way, white nose syndrome has drawn some comparisons to colony collapse disorder as suffered by bees. White nose syndrome and colony collapse disorder are sudden, violent, and mysterious. Will honeybees and the Kentuckiana river bat be two more lost species, wiped out in a geological blink and forgotten to natural history? It's possible that a cure won't be identified in time, so the sanctuary of this artificial hibernaculum is our best hope of preserving them. As you leave the Echo River Kentuckiana river bat hibernaculum and sanctuary, please make sure your vehicle and clothing are free of hitchhikers. Get out of here, skeletons. Get out of here. Get the heck out of here. Get out of here. I think we're almost at the end of the sanctuary. Alphazar, thank you for the $2. Nice Skelly Mans for the spooky? No, I don't know how to explain them. If it's the game's most complicated metaphor. The skeletons have been like an integral part of the game for like the past like 5 streams or something. I don't know how to. It's not for the spooky, no. I don't know how to explain it. If someone has someone has an explanation. The game is about variable interest rates. It is about variable interest rates, yes. We've got like a minute until Birthday Machine, and I feel like summing up the skeletons at this point is like... I don't know. It's kind of like you're watching the third Lord of the Rings movie, and you're like, wait a minute, what's a hobbit? Like, careful up there. Can't drive your new truck if you slip and break your legs. I'll be careful. Oh, hi. I remember... Oh, it's Florian. Oh, hi. I remember you. What are you doing down here? I'm just exploring. I like dark underground places. I'm a romantic. Really? What does that mean to you? Means I like poems and rivers and mysteries. Oh, okay, bye. Alright, well, we're halfway through. Try to explain the skeletons after Birthday Machine. One moment. All right. We got one birthday to celebrate today. One birthday. It is Jawsome Sauce. Happy birthday, Jawsome Sauce. Let's see what the machine's got to say, too. A Jawsome Sauce. Uh-oh. Wow, wow, wow. 4. Data has been calculated. Let's fill out your birth fate card. What is your luck number for the year? It could be one of an assortment of numbers. 2,965. How about your litter? Like someone throwing a banana. How's the weather? It's watching. Any of this hatch an egg? No. I got an advisory here. Ah! Let me tell you about Enable. Enabled. We got a poem. Birthday Machine has written a poem just for you. Here is your poem. A banana. A weary singer. The banana pinches. The singer shines. Introduction. Compassion. Compassion. Where compassion? Where nature? Singer nature. Unbelievable. Birthday Machine has looked to the stars, determined that your friend constellation's Ursa Shoemaker, enemy star, Upsilon Vega number 2590, Has there been a cosmic event? Let's look at the data and the charts. Oh. Gather round, everyone. It's time to sing. To whom? Jawsome Sauce, of course. Join me if you can. Happy day, birth for Jawsome Sauce. Hip, 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 Jawsome Sauce. Why will you not listen? Hip, hip, hop, hop, Jawsome Sauce. Birth honk bird for our Jawsome Sauce. Grab a juice with our Jawsome Sauce. The face in the bathtub. The song is done now. Reflect on this. If your body and skeleton does grow me, birthday machine, then certainly a city will fall and a strange painting paints the world. Very true. Finally, we have one-of-a-kind work of art created by the machine just for you, Jawsome Sauce. Here it is, your one-of-a-kind work of art. Beautiful. What a piece. Happy birthday, Jawsome Sauce. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful birthday. Enjoy this art. What is the? I have no idea. Hey, that's the moon. I just noticed the huge moon there. We're going there right now. Humankind. We're heading to the moon. They don't tell you this, but we're not just sweeping by the moon. We're also dropping a bunch of garbage on the moon. We're bringing a bunch of garbage, and we're going to drop it on the dark side of the moon where we think no one will see it. What kind of garbage? Embarrassing stuff. It's all old magazines and stuff of a rude nature. Old rude magazines. We're getting rid of all of them. The dark side of the moon. Happy birthday, Jawsome Sauce, and many more. The Epstein files. Yeah, we're putting them on the moon. The dark side of the moon. All right, skeletons, for anyone who has not been following along with the skeleton saga. We first saw the skeletons in a play. The play is about this bar where these people can't pay their bills, and the bar is also running out of business. And the bar man, the guy running the bar, has recently sold all of the customer debt to a company, Consolidated Brewery. And Consolidated Brewery is, I think that's what they're called, Consolidated something. No, maybe the power company is called Consolidated Power. Hard Times Brewery, that's it. He sold all the debt to a brewery, and the brewery is run by skeletons. A bunch of skeletons work at this brewery, so we see the skeleton standing behind us in the play, which is also not a play, but a real thing that's happened. Anyway, the skeletons pop up now and then, most notably after Conway, the main character, goes to a doctor. He goes to a doctor for a leg injury, and the leg is fixed, but the leg is now a skeleton leg. But he's the only one who sees it as a skeleton leg. And slowly, Conway has been becoming more and more skeleton. He has a skeleton arm now, even though he did not hurt his arm. And that's because the skeleton stuff at the brewery company and on Conway is a representation of the fact that his, like these people's humanity has been slowly stripped away and replaced by debt. These are people who owe great amounts of either financial or personal debt. Conway is someone who has a lot of debt, both financially and in terms of what he believes he owes people in his life. Most notably, the woman he worked for as a delivery driver, her child fell off her roof and died while working on the roof. And
Conway was supposed to have been there on that job, but Conway was drinking. Conway was drinking and didn't show up for work, and her child died. her child just died. It was a complete accident, and Conway has been living with that guilt ever since, and that's a form of debt that he's carrying around with him. And at this point, Lizette, whose child died, falling off the roof, her business is closing up because she has Alzheimer's, and Conway is out of a job. All he has left is his guilt and now a tremendous amount of medical debt that he is planning on paying off by working at Hard Times Brewery. So more of him is turning into a skeleton as he plans on making the rest of his life literally just paying off debt. And the skeletons, which not everyone can see, is just other people also living for the debt that they're paying off. He also chose to drink the whiskey. Yeah, he's drinking again. Hard Times is basically a company town. Yeah, Hard Times is a company town. Everything there is like he's going to be getting his housing and his food and everything else at Hard Times. So all of that is going to be adding on to his debt. But yeah, the first episode of this game started with us playing as Conway on his very last delivery. Could be bypassed with another capacitor at 100 nanofarads to reduce noise. What are you working on? Oh, you startled me. Daniel, sorry, I forgot my own name. Dashiell Morse, pleased to meet you. We don't install this type of phone for customers anymore, but there's quite a few of them still in circulation. Anyway, the new system doesn't source enough current to ring these old bells, so I'm trying to come up with a workaround. Maybe a little box the customer could attach right before the wall jack. Sounds like a good gig, fixing old phones. Oh, well, yeah. I'm here just about every night. Is this your first time down here? Yeah, I can tell. Your eyes can't quite adjust to the light. Takes some practice. Believe it or not, I've been coming here since I was a kid, for one reason or the next. Back then, this place was a train station. It's true. They had bats then, too, but they were considered a nuisance. Train station? What happened to it? Oh, sorry, I picked the wrong option. What did you come here for as a kid? I usually came here with my grandmother. We took the train out to the town she lived in. Or in the other direction, back to my parents' home. In my memories, it was always cold. Winter, I guess. Sometimes now I walk along the tunnel, run my hand along these wet stone walls, and close my eyes. Ringing footsteps and the drip, drip, drip of the grimy stalactites. Well, the river shifted and this place slowly filled with water, carrying the trains away with the current. It does that, the river, and I don't begrudge it. It's a good reminder that everything we have is borrowed, even trains. Eventually, someone at the Bureau of Reclaimed Spaces heard this place was still empty, so they moved the phone company in here. I returned here as a young lineman, a skill I picked up in wartime, running telephone wires behind enemy lines. We used trees instead of poles. I missed that, actually. They were easier to climb. It's just as well. I'm in no shape to be climbing anything these days. Closest I get is patching up the wiring in the crystal room for the WEVP folks.
WEVP, that's community television. I volunteered there for a number of years. I know everyone over there. Ralph, Sherry, Weaver, Dave.
Weaver Marquez?
Sure, Weaver Marquez. That's funny. I was just thinking about her. Yeah, I met her a couple times at the TV station. I suppose I didn't know her too well. She handled the archives, and I was helping with wiring and stuff. She really seemed to know her way around all that gear, though. She had a head for signals, I think. No idea where she ended up. Would guess she's probably not too popular around the station anymore, but I always liked her. Listen, miss, if you're interested in WEVP, you should go talk to them directly. They're always looking for volunteers. Take the ferry over to the silo. There's a mail stop there. They don't have a sign or anything. Just ask around. I guess I'll get back to this dang old ringer. Poppy's just a little further down if you're dropping off that package. Nice chatting with you.
Abel and Eloise, the lovers' couriers. Bred for racing, Abel and Eloise spent most of their lives as carrier pigeons in the employ of the Echo River Avian Post. They retired here after Abel was disfigured in an accident with a light aircraft. But old habits were hard to die. Abel and Eloise would pick up scraps of paper from the ground, the trash, even pull them out of pockets, and deliver them to other people nearby, to delight or embarrassment. Word spread, and travelers passing through this tunnel began to come prepared with love letters, poems, and other written desires to pass along indirectly through these pigeons. After a hard day's work, Abel and Eloise would always be found nestled closely together in a disused newspaper stand set aside for their habitation, and that's where we left them.
Just set it right over there by the lamp, sweetie, thanks. Actually, just a minute. Where does that parcel claim to be from?
That's weird. There's no label on it.
Well, if I'm lucky, it's the chocolates from a secret admirer, and not a snake from an assassin. So who are you? You work for the post office or the tugboat? I only ask because I haven't seen you before. Was that you I heard chatting down the hall?
I'm just doing Kate a favor, dropping off this package.
Kate? I love Kate. She helped deliver both my nieces. One in a hospital, one at the base of a mossy, moonlit oak. It was beautiful. I love Kate. I think Loretta's granddaughter used her to, Loretta used to work here. Actually, I think quite a few of our former operators have relied at some time on Kate's services. Well, now I guess they'll have more time with their little ones. As you can see, all their chairs are empty. Wasn't always like this. When I came to work at the Echo River Central Exchange, there were 12 of us. Loretta, Edna, Meg, Kara, Marie, Louie, Liz, Hester, Angie, Wilma, Connie. I was number 12. Connie and I were hired on the same day, but she showed up early. Marie finished college, and Hester was fired for snapping at a rude caller, but he had it coming. And I hear she did just fine on her own, so they hired Beryl, Jaina, and Sachiko, which brought us up to 13. That was as many operators as we ever had here at one time. Power company came along, buying up all the lines, and one day they took the exchange as a throw-in, like it was nothing. Nothing! They started phasing us out. Edna, Meg, Kara, Louie left one Friday evening. Were asked not to come back on Monday morning. Beryl saw the writing on the wall and quickly found employment at a private PBX. I'm dyslexic today, too. They had Jaina and Liz stop routing calls and write up some kind of best practices document instead. It was their final task as exchange employees. Some of the girls were reassigned to other divisions.
Connie, I think, was checking residential meters. Sachiko and Wilma were moved into energy sales, cold calling businesses to see if they needed to upgrade their electricity plan. At least they were still on the phone. And it was just Loretta, Angie, and me. We were swamped. The hours were heck. The hard on the throat. The voice with a smile became a croak. I was gargling warm salt water in the break room, sipping from a thermos full of hot honey broth stashed under my chair. Oh, I brought a lot of extended technique to the switchboard in those days. Sounded pretty good to me. He's got the voltage too high. He'll burn out the relay. So where was I? Hot honey broth and a warm salt water. Right. And a healthy dose of slippery elm. Got that one from Kate. So after a few months, it was just me. A new automation strategy was announced, and this place was rechristened Consolidated Auxiliary Switch number 30. If it's automated, what do you do here? It's not fully automated. There are still gaps in functionality that need a human touch. And, really is all about touch here. Sound is a vibration, a touch you feel in your ear. So my voice is a touch. When we're talking, we're touching, even on the phone. That's an electric touch. An intimate little shock that makes your tiny hairs tremble. But that's not even what I mean when I say it's all about touch here. When the power company first tried automating this old exchange with fancy new transistor arrays, the switchboard caught fire. It was just too much, too fast. So they tried using some clunky old mechanical relays, but then the calls were getting mismatched and out of sync. It was a nightmare. Their technicians determined that the phone system down here had been designed ad hoc over decades around the specific tempo of its human operators. So, short of replacing the whole thing, not to mention all the wiring, they'd have to work out the exact timing of every little human gesture that goes into routing a phone call. And that, officially, is my role here. I run the switchboard for the whole exchange. Once the work of 12, I'd like to remind you... Once the work of 12, I'd like to remind you, they have some kind of machine somewhere that tracks how long it takes for me to do each little thing. Caller never hears my voice now. They dial, my little indicator light switches on, and I make the connection. Do you miss talking to callers? There's something that bothers me about the process, besides the fact that I'm training my replacement, who isn't even human. Here's what I mean. How long do you think it should take to time my every move and recreate that timing in an automated switchboard? Rough estimate. At least a month. That's what I said. But this has been going on for over a year, and a very dark thought had started to nag at me. What if there is no cheap machine that's going to replace me? What if it's cheaper just to keep me here, filling in for the rhythm of the operators? What if I'm the cheap machine? You're not a machine. Nice of you to notice. I'm on the Echo River Central Exchange, and I'll carry a torch for the voice with a smile. But at least I'm keeping some part of it human, right? Even if it's not the best part. Oh, the parcel. Right over there by the lamp is fine. Thanks for dropping that off. Take care. Think of me when you dial 0. Malphazar, thank you for the $2. No touch, only phone. No touch, only phone. Oh my god. Conway. He's all skeleton now. Always gets me. Genuinely, like, just deeply sad by that. Poor Conway. Poor Conway's dog. It's completely lost in his debt. And his guilt. A walking skeleton. She returned on the dinghy, alone. She had a strong and sudden urge to shut the motor off and let the current take her. But she couldn't work out where the impulse came from, so she did her best to resist it. She met a flower salesman on a raft. They floated alongside the buoyant pots, bobbing untethered. He corralled them with a long pole and a stream of small adjustments. She leaned out over the water to get a closer look. He'd just started work for the day, so his stock was full. He pushed a few bouquets her way. First was a rustic bundle of mums. He suggested it would make an appropriate apology bouquet. Next, a simple mixture of snapdragons made to look wild. She thought it looked eager, and he agreed. Finally, a rustic mass of blue-petaled flowers of many different types. He said it was for a particular kind of person. If it didn't remind her of anyone in specific, she'd better move on. He drifted away with the current, pushing his flowers along with the raft. Malphazar, thank you for the $2. Oops, all skeleton. Yep. All skeleton. She met a painter of shipwrecks. He never worked from photographs, so his paintings could be divided into two categories. There would be the ones he painted from life, and the Echo River was a very good source for these because its currents were so unpredictable and the tunnels so dark. He rendered these in oil paint, by lamplight, working for hours cross-legged on the porch of his houseboat/studio. Then there were the ones he painted from memory, mostly the memory of a single wreck he encountered as a much younger man, picking up litter where the coastal highway cleaves to the rocky beaches of Northern California. These were done in watercolor. He preferred to work on them in the morning, in a room he rented near the airport in Louisville. He had some postcard-sized sketches in charcoal, too, of the Iron Pariah. It wasn't a wreck exactly, but it felt right. He tried to scribble one down every time he encountered it, though it was so unpredictable, and he was so focused on details, he usually just ended up with a handful of inscrutable marks. She met a family of 5 on a flat-bottomed skiff. The boat was loaded to capacity with black plastic bags and a few larger pieces of furniture wrapped in a blue tarp. 3 pedaled, the 2 adults and the older child. The 2 younger children slept. They'd been traveling all night, first by car and then for the last few hours by boat. Hungry and tired, they didn't plan to stop until they reached West Virginia, where a relative had offered to take them in. But the adults were happy to take a break from paddling in weary silence. They asked her about her river journey. She told them about the memorial. They were sympathetic. No minors in their family, but he was once injured at a warehouse job and had to fight for disability pay. They knew what these companies were like and what it was like to have to assert your humanity to them. They wished her well and paddled on towards West Virginia. She gave in, shut off the motor, and floated for a while. Then she knew what she'd been craving. A moment of silence. Act 4, Scene 8. Sam and Ida's. Just in time. We've already finished eating, but we're about to place a to-go order for Clara. She's back on board, getting ready for a show. Take a look at the menu. Sure there's something you'll like. Ida's a bit of a local celebrity. For her cooking, I mean.
Hey, Ezra was just asking about you. He's around the corner playing a video game. Maybe go let him know you two are back, or where's the old man, anyway?
Maybe something closer to Jacob's Ladder. Entry of the Blind story. Conway turning it into a skeleton there is, like... It's more like... been dreading seeing that scene. A bit choked up. Yeah, I started crying. It's hard to, like, unless you're like really like paying attention to the nuance of the story and stuff, it's probably not going to be as impactful. But yeah, no, I'm broken up over it. this I don't know how like effective this game is like a game to stream, because when you're watching someone play it, you're not paying as quite close attention to the story and what have you. But but anyway, the transformation of Conway. He is someone who, as I mentioned earlier, has a tremendous amount of guilt for things that happened in his past that were entirely out of his control, accidental, but he still feels guilt about. He was an alcoholic, and, you know, still is an alcoholic, but he hadn't had a drink in probably like a decade or something. Recently started drinking again because of trauma. But his alcoholism meant that he didn't show up for a job that he was supposed to show up for, and at that job, the son of his employer and best friend died, fell off a roof. And Conway believes that that if he had not been drinking, if he had shown up for work like he was supposed to, that the kid would not have died. And he's carried this guilt with him, and probably maybe like stayed at this job much longer than he would have otherwise. It's just his whole life ended up becoming just trying to make up for this mistake, but it's not something, it wasn't his fault, and it was not something that could ever be made up. So his entire life became just this debt that he felt he owed. And now that woman is, like, has dementia, doesn't even remember these events. He's out of a job. He doesn't know what to do with the rest of his life. Starts drinking again, after hurting his leg and ending up in a tremendous amount of medical debt. So him turning into a skeleton at the end is he no longer is living for life. He has nothing that he's living for anymore. All he has is debt that he's trying to pay off, but that never can be paid off. So that is his transformation at the end. There is a visual representation of the fact that he has completely crossed over to, like, he's just doing day-to-day stuff now. Is not living for anything in particular. He's a walking skeleton. All he's got is debt that he's going to pay off. Every day he's still alive until he's not. And then even after that. Oh, bad luck. You'll get it next time. Hey, got a quarter? He's almost got this. It's true. Sure, I have 1 quarter. Thank you. So, where's... He left. Oh. Okay. I have to say, I didn't know him very well, but he seemed like the kind of guy who was always on his way to somewhere else. Yeah. I'm gonna go sit down. Cool. Food is good here. I think everyone else is finishing up, but you could probably go get something to go. All right, Claw Maestro, let's give it another shot. So let's see what's on top of the pile here. There's a stuffed octopus, a plastic bag full of clamshells, a cowboy hat, and some big headphones. That octopus has a leg wrapped around the boombox underneath it. The shells are pretty clear, but I don't know if the claw can really grip the bag well. Cowboy hat's in the corner, so it's kind of tricky to tell if it's wedged in or not. Those headphones might be a good bet, but I can't see the cord. Could be wrapped around something. What are you going to try for? You know, I gotta try to get the headphones. Good call. I think that's our best bet. Okay. When I put this quarter in, you'll have about 8 seconds to grab your prize. The headphones are on the right, pretty close to the middle. Let me know if you need help lining it up. Got a slightly different view of the field from up here. Ready? Here we go. Johnny inserts the coin and the machine awakens. Timer, 8. The claw hovers in the front left corner of the machine. Johnny pushes the joystick right. Claw hovers halfway across the front of the machine. Right again. Claw hovers in the front right corner of the machine. Up. Claw hovers halfway along the right wall of the machine. Does this look right? Yeah, it looks good to me. Go for it. Alright, let's drop the claw. The claw drops and grabs the headphones. The claw's grasp seems unusually weak on this round, and the headphones tumble back out before they can be retrieved. Oh, you were robbed! I guess the house always wins, except on Tuesdays. A friend of ours always said that. Never really knew what he meant. Oh, well. Hey, listen. Sounds like that old man you were following around, guess he had to leave. Is he coming back? Well, probably not. He's got himself a trajectory, you know? I'll meet up with Julian when we get back above ground and go back to the museum. Oh, yeah, he's your brother, you said, right? Hey, maybe we still have time to poke around this place a little. They have some pretty wild stuff in here. Malvazar, thank you for the $5. Gave in to his skeletons. This is what I see with my brother. Had phenomenal talents, but gave in to alcohol. Just a walking skeleton of who he was. It's a hard world. It's a very hard world to exist in. Hey, you see this? Kept a table full of fake food over here. Never known why. Actually, I think it might be real food covered with shellac or something. Preserved. Oh, and look, this tentacle-looking thing is half-eaten. This is someone's meal that they didn't finish? Tentacle? Gross. Yeah, I don't know. Some people really like that stuff. I had some fried calamari once at a gas station. It was pretty good, but I stripped a gear trying to chew the beak. They're supposed to take that out. Sam and Ida preserved this half-eaten meal. It must have been pretty important to them, right? Maybe it belonged to someone they cared about. Like a beloved uncle had a mid-meal stroke, so they kept it in his memory. My folks left behind a bag of sunflower seeds, but I threw it away. I should have kept it, right? Oh, no, I didn't mean that, kid. You don't need to hang on to every little memento. I'm sure you still remember them just fine. You worried about them? Yeah, it's weird they just disappeared. Yeah. Listen, that's okay to be worried. You're doing fine. Weird. Somehow I thought it was his truck. And delivery and all. It was? That's what she's saying. He just left it behind. But you're gonna deliver it anyway? Why? He's my friend. He needs my help to finish his job. That's right. He's a friend too. Johnny and I will help you unload when we get there. Lift with your legs, Cricket. Yes, ma'am. So how was everything? How was the sweet cave snail? Devastating. You're a killer, Ada. Well, can't take all the credit. Sam came across a whole cave snail colony down there about a year back. We've been leaving rock candy for them to gorge on since. We just started harvesting earlier this month. Yeah, it's all about patience down here. Everything grows more slowly in the dark. There's a fish in Lake Leth that lives to 200 years, and its flavor profile only develops at about 75. Got a pot of bones in there that's been stewing for at least a week. I don't even remember why I put them on. Come to think of it, I don't remember what kind of bones they are. Oh, we need one for the road. Clara said she wanted, something primordial, she said. What does that mean? I think she meant something from very deep in the lake. Ah, it could be. Yeah, you pick. I'm not good at this. Shannon inspects the menu. She'll have... Sweetwater cuttlefish spread. Mmm. Good choice. Your friend will love it. I'll have that right out, sweetie. Ezra leans over the table and carefully examines the preserved food and drink. He prods a half-eaten tentacle. The tentacle is solid and fixed in place. We used to steam those. Juicy, but I prefer them smoked now. Sorry I startled you, sweetie. Whose food is this? This is the diver's table, and this was the diver's meal. His food is about 15 years old. It's true. Things were different then. Nobody came to eat here. We were fighting just to keep the lights on. Sam, my husband, Sam was depressed. He couldn't catch anything. That was part of the problem. Most of what we served was shipped in frozen or dried, and I just threw it in the fryer. We've both come a long way since then. Well, 2 young men came in for dinner. Seasoned divers, they said. Over 10,000 hours between them in Lake Leth alone. They'd been out all day, salvaging parts from a riverboat wreck. And it worked up a fierce hunger, they said. They ordered the whole menu, without even looking. It was a short menu in those days. I sat them right here, and went back to the kitchen. Sam was at the next table doing a Sudoku, and drinking malt liquor, his usual routine at the time. An hour later, I was cleaning up when Sam came bursting into the kitchen. Ida, he said, kind of frantic. These divers are still hungry. Bring them another course. And I said, they already ordered the whole menu. Sam said, make something new. Keep making up dishes, whatever. Just keep bringing out food. So I did until the small hours of the morning. Made up so many new dishes that night I could write a book. And it was good. Inspired. But I was working so hot and fast at the burning edge of inspiration, I didn't think to write any of it down. And I was so wrecked with exhaustion the next day, I knew I couldn't remember what I'd all done in the kitchen. Sam thought we could take a photograph of the leftovers, but we couldn't get the lighting right, so we just shellacked the whole table. Now, when I need inspiration for the menu, I come and look here and think about all those ingenious dishes I threw together for those divers. Of course, they didn't pay their full bill. I heard one of them complaining to the other, let's just pay half and let them charge the other half to whatever demon in the kitchen kept making up food faster than we could ask for it. But it all worked out. Things have really turned around since then. This place is actually pretty popular now. The success in our expanded menu inspired Sam, too. He started bringing back the most magnificent ingredients from his nightly dives. Better get to work. Stay right here, sweetie. I'll bring you out a treat on my way back. Well, buddy, I guess you're the catch of the day. The one and only. Aha. So what are you? You look like, well, some kind of squid, I guess. Kind of a lonely little guy, huh? Yeah, I can see it in your eyes. You smell like an old friend of mine, huh? Skin feels like sandpaper. Huh? Well, she'll figure something out. Think I'll call you Cold Gray Squid. Welcome to Sam and Ida's. The one and only Cold Gray Squid. Hope you enjoy your stay. I mean, not too much. You ever seen a creature like me before? You're pretty far down there. Wouldn't be surprised if I'm the first, except there were 2 divers who went before me long ago. Maybe that was before your time. How old are you, anyway? I wonder. They ate here once, back in the bad old days. 2 young guys. Could have been brothers, maybe. I was over in the corner with my coffee and crossword. I hadn't been able to catch a thing, so Ida just fried up something from frozen. Now these guys were hungry enough to eat it, and asked for more. And they did at least as much talking as eating. So, like I said, they were divers, and like I said, they might have been brothers. They had a kind of rivalry going on between them or something. Ida was about to write up their check, but I slipped calmly and quietly into the kitchen for a minute, told her to just keep bringing out food. I figured they wouldn't notice. Caught up in their boasting as they were, and I wanted to listen. They went back and forth for hours about all the deep and dangerous dives they'd been on, new tunnels they'd discovered, all the weird creatures they'd encountered at the weirdest depths of Lake Leth. It was like a dance. No, like a boxing match. Each story went deeper than the last. And I listened to every word of it, memorized every description of every tunnel and diving route they'd discovered. That's my map now, you see. For 15 years, I had been using routes these 2 young divers discussed right there at the table. Yeah, I could write a guidebook to the depths of this lake, but I don't dare. Someone would steal my good diving spots. And then where would I be? See, people come here from all over just to try our daily catch, because they know it's unique. Ain't you proud? Since I can't write any of it down, I just preserve that table where they had their meals so I can look at it to jog my memory. Like they were eating pickled crab when they talked about that shipwreck full of salamanders. Pretty clever, huh? It's my own secret code. Well, I'll be straight with you, Cold Gray Squid. There is one feature of this arrangement that I find unsettling. In fact, I lose a decent amount of sleep over it. I told you those boys were competing, right? One-upping each other, I mean. Each getting wilder with more adventurous as they traded tales. Well, I navigate mostly in the dark down there, just going by touch and a kind of mental picture I can construct from their detailed boasts. And every time I explore a new diving spot from those recollections, I have to weigh it against all the risk that I'm heading right into a dangerous falsehood. One of those men could have felt for a moment like he was losing some ground in their little duel, so he could have slipped a fake one in there. Maybe told a fib about some dive he went on and found a colony of blind shrimp living in a discarded refrigerator. And when I get down there, my diving bell cracks open on a sharp rock where he said the fridge would be. And that's the end of Sam and Ida. Sorry, that's the end of Sam and Ida's. To be honest, that possibility puts the fear of death in me every time I touch water. Hey, Sam, good haul tonight? We'll see what you can make of it. Yeah, pretty good, I think. I had some trouble down by the narrow tunnel. Some kind of fast-growing freshwater barnacles just about sealed it up. I picked away for a half hour before I gave up and went the other way. But I got the catch of the day. That's the important part. That's what people travel for. What's the catch today? This here is a cold gray squid. Lonely, sandpapery old squid. I don't know how she'll fix him, but that sandpapery quality ought to do something for, what do they call it, mouthfeel? I think we're about to leave, but thanks. Just passing through. Hey, aren't we all? Oh, she's got your food ready. You all enjoy your meal, all right?
This world is not my home. I'm just passing through. My treasures and my hopes are placed beyond the blue. Many friends and kin have gone on before, and I can't feel at home in this world anymore. Oh Lord, you know I have no friend like you. If heaven's not my home, oh Lord, what will I do? Angels beckon me to heaven's open door.
She returns to the tugboat.
Feel at home in this world anymore.
Well, we're at the end of the stream, so that's probably a good point to stop. Continue this next week. I don't remember how much longer this chapter is. Let me see. Act 4. Central Exchange. Samonitis. Yeah, we got 2 more sections in this chapter. Okay. Special thanks to the FilmCow Patreon supporters. Greatly appreciate the support. I'll be back tomorrow. What am I going to be playing? Who knows? Putting in the hard work, voice acting today. Yeah, I definitely had a hard time with the voice acting. I have a hard enough time, like, reading this dialogue anyway, because I've mentioned before, like, that I have a hard time with, like, dark mode on phones. Because reading white text on black backgrounds, like, for whatever reason, I've just always had a hard time, like, reading that. So this whole game is white text on black background. So reading that fluently is a difficulty for me. And the monitor's, like, far enough away that that also presents a problem. But my throat's all dunked up today, so just difficulty upon difficulty, but I got through it. I could do better, but I got through it. Well, I hope to see you tomorrow, whatever we're playing. Have a great night, everyone. A great morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. Have a good one. Farewell, everyone. I love you all.